Hi, I'm Sadia.
Hi, I'm Michael, and welcome to the 8th grade graduation. The final chapter in our journey at OCS, and the first chapter in a majestic journey into high school. Hopefully, we don't have that many sleepless nights in the near future. I'd like to thank everyone who is here for coming to this important chapter in the next chapter in the rest of our lives. Thank you.
A lot of us have been here for many years, and in these years, the people we grew up with, this graduating class, has started to seem like family. I could go on and on about how amazing my experience at the school was, but I don't want to bore you. So I'll hand it over to Morgan Maxwell and Savannah Pace to talk about their experience here.
So you're filming? Okay, cool, thank you. 'Cause I don't want to.
Hi, I'm Morgan. I've been part of the OCS community for
It's not a very
9
good
years
view,
now.
but
I feel lucky to
I
be here
don't
for
get a
all
very
these
good
9 years.
view.
OCS is more accepting and closer than anywhere I've been thus far. It's been like a second home to me and many of my friends. When I first came to OCS, I had a mohawk, believe it or not. And my class accepted that that was who I was, and they loved to hear my story about why I had the mohawk, and they accepted that I was a girl. As I grew up, OCS stayed as caring and loving as it was when I first came, even as it changed campuses, teachers, and principals moved around a lot. Over all the 9 years, I've had many friends, some of who had to leave. But all the friends that I have had have been better than I could have asked for or wished for. The class of 2016, as loud as we may be, care for each other. If somebody falls, there's someone there ready to pick them up. And if people are crying, someone's there to help them feel better. Looking around at my peers, I don't see the typical teen group. I see a group who like to sing at the top of their lungs, play tag and beanbag toss just for the fun of it. I see a class who loves each other's company and the laughter of their peers. I see a group of friends who can come together and achieve anything. And as we graduate, you can look around and see how close we are. And though we are loud and annoy all of our teachers, after we are gone, no one will forget us, and we will never forget each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Two small words that mean so much. Thank you is a term used to express appreciation to someone for offering or giving you something, for helping you, or asking you how you are feeling. Thank you, OCS, staff, volunteers, family, parents, teachers, and friends. A special thank you to all of our teachers. Anita for preparing us for high school. Brian for always understanding and giving us second chances and always seeing the best in you. Karen for being willing to take time out of her breaks or after school to help you with your problems, math or personal. And Serena for loving, caring, and comforting us whenever we needed it. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, parents, for filling our lives with joy, happiness, and love. There are no words to explain how much we appreciate all you do. Thank you, friends, for being there through all the drama, sticking by each other and standing up for one another. I hope we all maintain these bonds we have made here at OCS. I remember my first day at OCS. It was the first day of 4th grade. I walked in with my mom and looked at all these new faces. They were already paired up. I remember my mom telling me to go sit down to someone who would still be one of my best friends today, Samantha. My mom told me she was leaving and that she would see me at the end of the day. I cried. I didn't feel comforted or comfortable here. My mom had to sit with me for the first 30 minutes of the day. I remember going home and begging my parents to take me back to my old school. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for not doing that. I've met lifelong friends here. And since tomorrow is my last day at OCS, I leave here comforted and comfortable, and I hope all of you are too. So thank you. Truly thank you to everyone in the audience for everything that you have done for this class of 2016.
Hi, it's me again. You're probably annoyed at me and want to hear your children sing already. So I will give up the stage to the graduating class of 2016 to sing See You Again by Wiz Khalifa. Onward!
He's over there.
You've heard a lot about our experience at OCS, but I'd like to say that this journey wouldn't have been the same without our fabulous teachers. Brian, our humanities teacher, has been with us since the beginning of the year. He has helped us and taught us some amazing life lessons on the way. I would like to call him on stage to send a message to our graduating class.
You guys are doing a great job. You all too. You guys are doing a great job too. Thank you so much for that song. Very nicely done. It is an honor to be here to speak to you all tonight. I'm so proud to be here in front of these students, and I'm so proud to have them about to walk up on stage. Not yet. I know it's a little hot. You're going to sweat it out a little longer. I do have a couple things I'd like to say tonight. Hopefully some things that you guys can take with you as you leave for high school. You're going to be spread across the valley in totally different places, and this is our last night to celebrate together. As you all know, this was my first year at OCS. I taught before, but never humanities, and certainly not 8th grade. I come from a long line of teachers and friends who are parents of middle schoolers themselves, and they all said one thing when I told them I was working in a middle school. Are you nuts? There may have even been a few parents here tonight that said the same thing to me. But I knew that this was something that I wanted. And when I sat down with Beth and Jude, I thought, this might be a special place. And as the 18 kids in my sample lesson, which was in July, mind you, the middle of their summer break, introduced themselves, I knew that I was someplace special. When Kylie and Enrique and Maisie and Manuel and everyone else came up to shake my hand when I was standing right back there by that tree on the picnic night back, I was just blown away. This was a group of students who were well-mannered, confident, brave, even empowered. This was a special place, and these were special kids. I looked forward to my year, and even with the growing pains of a new job and challenges, I can say I looked forward to each day, seeing all of your faces. As I got to know you, our comfort with one another grew, and we learned and worked a lot together. You started to let go of the light armor you may have worn when you faced 2 brand new teachers this year for 8th grade, your last at OCS. I got to know you. I got to know you. I didn't begin to know you. You let me know you. And I'm so grateful for that. We faced so many challenges this year. There's the developmental stuff. There's the social stuff that comes from any work or school place that we're in. You're learning new material and difficult concepts, and I'm supposed to push you and encourage you. We came together and shared tiny things about ourselves. Riley's favorite restaurant is the Munch Box, which I've been trying to get to for the entire year, and every time I show up, they're closed. Apparently, I'm working too late. Damien, where are you, Damien? You're obsessed with Doctor Who. You showed us videos in class. It's awesome. I've got Casey, who can go on for an hour about tomato plants, if you start getting them going. Anna and Aiden can recite the entirety of the Hamilton soundtrack, curses and all. And Alexa and Sarah love Fall Out Boy. I'm not even going to bring up 5 Sauce because I'm afraid of the reaction. So I learned something this year. I'm sorry, I wanted to also mention that we shared big things too. It wasn't just the small stuff. There were challenges and losses that some of us endured at home, personally, throughout the year. We had a collective fear and confusion about San Bernardino, Paris, Brussels, and most recently Orlando. I was so amazed by the maturity of these kids when we sat down and talked about all those things together. It's those moments of sharing, big and small, that I think bonded us the most. It turns out that learning about the periodic table and Jacksonian democracy, however important it may be, wasn't the core that connected us. I think that's why I became a teacher, to try and connect with these young lives. And that's what I found that OCS does. It is built in to our community school. We have advisory every single morning. We have assemblies and classes when there's too much noise out in the outside world and we need a break. We come down together and we sit and talk. We have buddy groups and conferences in DC and Spring Fair, all these incredible opportunities that we share as a community. And that's where we all came together. That's where our connection came from. And I feel connected to each one of you. Remember that when you leave here, your friends, the people who perhaps you don't consider your friends, your teachers, your principals, your parents, wherever you go, we all absolutely want the best for you. Even those of you who don't know those people yet. You're about to go off and meet an incredible number of people. And I promise you, they are waiting there for you because they want to be. It turns out I love my job, and you kids are my job. As an extension of that, I'd like to leave you with one other message. Just like you all, it's taken me a long time to get here. One of the big games we played in class all year was you guessing how old I was. Always interesting. Still not correct. I heard everything from 24, God bless you, to 64, which I hope was a joke, no offense, including to my father if he's out there. It was my first year here. People were curious about me. You all know that I've pursued multiple fields, from business to psychology, from sales to being a full-time stay-at-home dad. I was terrified to leave each place. It's easy to keep doing what you're doing, what you're already doing. People even expect it. You should have seen my father's face, speaking of him, when I told him I was going to pass up a promotion to go back to school and incur more debt. Can't wait for you guys to see that. Hopefully it's fixed by the time you get there. But you heard me use all of that background knowledge in my lessons, in our one-on-ones, in our small groups. I am the person I am today because I took those chances and tried new things. And here I am. I love this place, and you are this place. You are who you are because of this place and the chances you have taken and will take. You are headed to high school, college, jobs, careers. Some of you already think you know who you are and what you'll be. You are a gamer, a basketball player, a daughter, a brother, a friend. You are more than that, and you don't know yet what all you will be. For those of you who don't know what you are or what you want to be when you grow up, do not worry. You have so much time. Yesterday you heard from high schoolers who told you to try new things, get out there, meet new people, join the volleyball team, as all of them seem to have done. Nothing is off limits. The possibilities are endless and are out there waiting for you. You may be nervous to get out there, to head to high school, to be away from these familiar faces that you sit with right now. Those of you who aren't, I guarantee you will look back at some point and recognize all that is here and miss it. But I think you already know that this place is special. You're headed someplace special too. You may head down some paths that you don't end up liking, but find yourself surprised by a newfound interest or a talent you never knew that you had. Be open. Be open to possibilities. Be open with people, new friends and old. Share with them. You never know whose hand You'll be shaking next year on the first day of school. They're bound to open your eyes to a whole new world. Thank you for shaking my hand last year and opening my eyes.
Thank you for that, Brian. Well, I would like to now introduce our amazing principal, Lynn. Even though we've only got to know her half a year, it feels like we've gotten to know her more than we'd expect. I'd like to invite her onto the stage to say a few words to our graduating class.
Greetings, graduates, parents, families, and OCS staff. Before I start, I'll tell you my first fear as I sat down and watched Brian give his speech. There's a wind that picks up here and there, and I'm really afraid my speech is going to go flying away. Michael had said that I've only been here a short time, and that's true. I've been principal since February 1st, but this is my 4th year at OCS. And I love that. I've been able to see this school from many different perspectives. Being on the board provided a wonderful opportunity to get to know a lot of the parents and the staff. But these last few months have been amazing because I've gotten to know a lot of you. And I don't know every single one of you very well yet, and we didn't have a lot of time, but it's been a great fun journey along the way. My first day on campus as principal, I went around to all the classrooms and naively told all of the students that I want to learn all of your names. And I asked everyone to come up when they saw me and ask me if I know your name. Let's challenge me. Let me see if I can learn your names. And the younger grades took that and ran with it. And some still do. Every day at lunch, come up and ask me, do you know my name? 8th grade was not as receptive at first. And I kind of felt like, wow, these guys are like, yeah, okay, whatever. But it was great to see after a while, they started to ask like, hey, do you know my name? Or all of a sudden I would know their name and they're like, uh-oh, how does she know my name, right? I think our names are very important. They're who we are, and they're that window to your soul and the connection that we have together. I've had a very similar experience to all of you guys. I actually went to a school that was a kindergarten and 8th grade school. It's one of the reasons I wanted to be principal of this school because I loved it. I loved that I could be in 8th grade when my sister was still in 4th grade and I could keep an eye on her during the day. I loved that it was a familiar place for me for such a long period of time. And to this day, I'm very fortunate that one of my best friends ever I met at that school. She joined in 5th grade. And a lot of you know what that's like to come in and join a school where kids have been there for a while. And it was awesome because I got this wonderful opportunity to, and I'm not going to tell you the number of years, decades later, to still be her friend. And I want you to know that too as you sit there now today, knowing that you're moving on to 9th grade. You've made these connections that are real and lifelong, and they will be there. I'm honored to be here today as principal of OCS. It's been an interesting year. We've had a lot of new and a lot of change and a lot of challenge. And those things have been great because they've made us become the best of who we are. Sometimes when we don't have challenges or obstacles that we need to overcome, we can get comfortable and we can settle and we can not really push ourselves to be the best who that we are. But we've had some practice this year and you guys are doing great. And you've been able to show the real, true you. Today's a day to praise your accomplishments. You're graduating. It's pretty cool, huh? But how did you get here? there's a lot of ways along the way. Some of you came here in kindergarten, others might have joined in 3rd or 4th grade. Some of you, maybe this is your first year of joining this community. Along this journey, you made choices, and some of those choices were successful, and some were not. And that's okay. J.K. Rowling, we know any of her books that she's written? Harry Potter, okay? She has this quote that I love. It says, "It is impossible to live without failing at something. Unless we live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default." I love this. We can't live without failing? Well, some of us are living well, and we're learning those lessons along the way, right? And we've grown and we've been better. We've had a good week, you and I, and we've learned a lot from each other, and maybe some of us made mistakes, maybe some of us made challenges, and we've come out on top. And that's the most important point, is that our failures are not failures. They're just steps in this big process that we call life. I have a story I want to tell you. It's about 5 wise men that got lost in a forest. And I want to see if you can figure out which one's the wisest, okay? So 5 wise men got lost in the forest. The first one said, "I will go to the left. My intuition tells me that." The second one says, "I will go to the right, because the right comes from the word righteous." The third one says, "I will go back where we came from. It means that I will go out from the forest." The fourth one said, "I will go straight. We should move forward. The forest will end and something new will be upon us." And the fifth one said, "You're all wrong. There's a better solution. Wait for me." And he found the tallest tree and he climbed it. And when he was climbing, everyone else scattered towards their own sides. From above, he saw where they should go to leave the forest faster. Now he could even see in what order the other wise men would reach the end of the forest. He climbed higher and higher, and he saw the shortest way. He understood the problem and found the best solution. He knew that he did everything right, and the others were wrong. They were stubborn. They didn't listen to him. He was the real wise man. Was he right? Well, he was actually wrong. Everyone was right. The one who went to the left found himself in a thicket. He had to starve and fight with wild animals, but he learned how to survive in the forest, and he became part of the forest and could teach others to do the same. The one who went to the right met thieves. They took everything from him and made him steal with them, but after some time, he'd woken up to something in those thieves that they had forgotten: humanity and compassion. The remorse was so strong in some of the thieves that after his death, they also became wise men. The one who went back and made a pathway through the forest, which soon became a road for those who wanted to walk in the forest without being afraid of getting lost. And the one who went straight became a pioneer. He visited the places where no one else would. He opened wonderful new possibilities for people, amazing healing plants and magnificent animals. And the one who climbed into the tree became a specialist of finding short ways. People turned to him when they wanted to find the fastest way to deal with problems, even if it didn't lead to any of their development. All 5 men reached their destiny. All 5 men found their own way to find the best solution for them. And all 5 men had challenges along that way, and failures, and they learned and they grew. And I want you guys to know, you all have your own way. You all have your own path, you're gonna have your own challenges, and you're gonna find what's best for you. And guess what? You're the only ones that know which way is the best way for you. I'm curious to see, since I think I know some of you well, but some of you I don't. You may have your own pathways. You may have your own distinct things that make you different from each other, but you've got that commonality. There are many things that you have in common. You're the 8th grade class of 2016 at OCS. So we're gonna do a little participation. So I'm gonna ask you a question, and if you feel like you relate to it, I wanna see you stand up and let's see who's here, okay? So stand up if you've ever enjoyed playing handball at OCS. All right, good. Go ahead and take a seat. How about if you attended one of the friendship dances? Doing good. Okay, take a seat. Who worked on the yearbook? Either year. Look at that, good representation. You guys did a great job. All right, take a seat. Who's played on a sports team? We've had sports teams for a few years. Yeah, looking good. All right, take a seat. Who was taught by a teacher that you love? Okay, take a seat. Last one. Who made a friend that you will never forget? I think that deserves a round of applause. Okay, take a seat. We have 3 concepts in our mission that I love and hold dear to my heart, and is frankly one of the reasons that I wanted to be principal at OCS. We want you to be leaving here being empowered, ethical, and informed. And we had a PLC today, and we even talked about these things, right? We talked about what that meant. I've got some quotes for you to make you think about what this really means. To be empowered, so Eleanor Roosevelt, she said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Think about that for a minute. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. You are leaving this school stronger